All right, and welcome to the latest installment of an Extraordinary Recap. It is your boy, Jay Connor.
And this is Alex Hardy.
And this season, we're recapping every single episode of Issa Rae's magnum opus, Insecure. And tonight, we're joined by the $1 Million Man himself, Mr. Panama motherfucking Jackson of Very Smart Brothas, and the big homie, superstar writer extraordinaire, Law Ware. Thank y'all for coming through.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
I know Panama's dripping because he just got that big-ass check, so shout out to you.
Drinks on him.
Y'all
Drinks on the light skin niggas.
Listen, when I get that big check, I'll make sure to take everybody out for a drink.
I will hold you to that. Now, before we get started, y'all got to rep your set. Are y'all Issa Hive, Lawrence Hive, or card-carrying members of Team Tasha?
Oh, man.
I'm Team Tasha personally. I think Lawrence is an idiot. I think Issa's an idiot. And Tasha's the only one that's keeping it real out here.
Tasha's a safe pick, but I'll accept it. What about you, Lawrence?
I mean, really, to be honest, I think Lawrence is an idiot. And I hate to say that because my name is Lawrence. I think Issa's an idiot. I mean, can I be Team Molly?
You can be Team Open Marriage.
With her. I mean, I'm going to have to go with her, even though I was really disappointed by some of her choices tonight. I mean, because I really don't like any of them. But yeah, I'm going to go Team Molly.
Alex, you got it. You repping a set or nah? You sitting on the sidelines?
I was actually going to say Team Molly as well, but because I think all three of them are idiots.
Yeah, you smart. I'm on Team Open Marriage. Now, in this last episode, Molly sort of kind of almost found love in a hopeless place in the last episode. Lawrence got chin checked by Tasha, and Issa whipped out the jumper cables and jump started her self-proclaimed hocation. Now, at the risk of infuriating each of the women you guys go home to, what did y'all think of Tasha's fuck nigga rant last week?
I personally thought that joint was brilliant, and it was probably the best line of the entire series.
Yeah.
Because it was the most real line of the entire series, and it was a whole lot of hit dogs hollering on that one.
Nigga, it was a bad week for a lot of these niggas out here.
Absolutely. I mean, let me be real spit. I wrote an entire piece that I never posted because of it.
Oh, wait, why didn't you post it?
Insight. Okay, talk about it.
I like these exclusives. Why didn't you post it?
Come on, Panama, talk to us.
I mean, real talk, I've been that dude. And
I was just thinking, I was thinking that. Mm-hmm.
We've all been that dude. Yeah, I mean, I've been that dude. I'm not anymore. Obviously, look, I'm in a very happy relationship right now, and that's just not who I am anymore. But, it's not worth reopening things that don't have anything to do with my life now. Like, I in order to write that piece, I had to mention and talk about some things from my past that isn't really my reality anymore.
Yeah, like a rapper, basically.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't necessary. There's enough written about it, but I was just like, I'm gonna let this one go. I'm gonna let this one go.
It's funny. I almost did a very similar thing because one of the things that's interesting to me about last week is what do you do when you realize that you are that? Right, like, what does it feel like to come to the realization that you are that guy, that you thought you were a good guy? Because that's what's fascinating to me about Lawrence, that he thinks he's a good guy, but he's really not. So what do you do when you come to that realization? And I thought about writing something similar about that, but yeah, last week was the week when World War III kind of broke out.
Yeah. Now, tonight we have some new developments. Issa seems to be finally embracing her newfound liberation at Kiss and Grind with varied results, while Lawrence partook in some kiss and grind of his own. So after blowing off a low-key night with the homies, Lawrence receives a cordial invitation to a threesome after some quote-unquote good Samaritans buy his liquor at the grocery store. Now, what did y'all think about how that whole threesome scenario played out?
I mean, I ain't never had no situation play out like that.
Nigga, go to Vegas.
Okay.
Whoa,
I mean,
okay.
Let me say, I've never had a random white chick offer to buy my liquor at a grocery store before. But then again, ain't too many white people in my circle, so maybe that's just a thing white people do, and I just ain't aware.
Yeah.
Maybe that's some West Coast stuff.
Reparations.
But I do think it's interesting. The past two episodes have been full of moments of realization for Lawrence, right? Mm-hmm. So it's amazing how some white chicks are white and with the other chick, I don't know what she was, copping him some liquor and then getting him off in a threesome that went awry ends up resulting in some realizations about what he's doing in life or what he ain't doing in life. Like,
yeah.
Like Lawrence is out here having every black man's realizations about the relationship process.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually probably some of the best pieces of this show right now. The mirror is holding up to a lot of dudes who happen to be at this stage of their life and who ain't really cut out for that player life, trying their best to do it, but realizing in the process that it ain't really who they are.
Yeah, so a lot of niggas out here self-reflecting through their penis, and that's basically what Lawrence is doing right now.
Well, one of the things that came to mind for me was that this episode is him having brushes with whiteness. So before he had that incident, of course, he got pulled over by the police. And then thereafter, he has this interaction, and it's not lost on me that she's saying, things that are racially kind of charged, right? That kind of made my philosopher of race kind of antenna go up, because she's kind of objectifying him, and she's having sex not with Lawrence but with a black man, right? And so what that kind of speaks to me, what that kind of says to me rather, is that, he is engaged in this kind of sexual relationship, but they're not interested in him. They're interested in what he represents as a black man. So I want that black penis inside of me, is something along the lines, I think is what she says, right? And so, like I was taking notes as I was watching it, and as I saw that, I put in caps, leave those white girls alone, right? Because I heard the voice of my grandmother and my mama, leave them white girls alone. They're not interested in you. They're interested in what you represent. And so what he came to the realization of is that, that he is just a black penis to them. He is not a black person that they're interested in any kind of meaningful way, because the moment that he is no longer able to perform sexually for them, they cast him to the side. They talking about going, they snorting coke and talking about going to a party. He's not interested. He's not interesting to them in any meaningful kind of way.
The nigga in me thought he was going to get robbed, but then I had to realize it's insecure. But I was like, yo, this is the entire setup for a robbery. Like, this is every rap song about a robbery.
It really is.
That's real, yeah.
I knew it was some type of setup.
Yeah, we got you a drink. Come. Yeah, I was like, this is the only because it's insecure and not like a horror film did it go the way that it went. But I'm like, this nigga gonna die today. Yeah. This is Lawrence's last day on Earth.
Issa not gonna let him die on her watch.
I'm just saying, it was a possibility.
Yeah, no, that's real. In that, I made the same note about like them fetishizing him. You know what I'm saying? It was like it wasn't about him as a human being. It was him as what he represented as a
black penis. Yeah, I mean, that's what's in a very same way that many times black women are reduced to their body parts. He's reduced to a body part, right? Yeah. And he ends up outside, longing for what he's lost, even though technically he's kind of living the dream of what many black men think that they want, as Panama said recently. I thought that was a fascinating kind of turn of events. And I also loved how it was a sex scene that was really not sexy. Like the way that it was shot and the way that it was framed. It was not a sexy sex scene. It was, there's nudity there, but it's clear that there is something going on, that there's no real meaningful connection there.
It was just primal. You know what I mean? Like it was just strictly about. It was just strictly about.
They
busting
definitely played the fuck out of him, but it was good, like you said, Law. It was a good dynamic to see that we don't often see men getting fetishized and used up and tossed aside in that way that women are so used to, both from music, from television, from movies, just by pop culture in general. Like they're not used to being treated as meat, and he was nothing but meat. And once he couldn't live up to LaMarcus, he wasn't worth shit to them, so they was on to the next dick.
And the fact that it all kind of brought it back to a place of self-reflection, and that he was sitting in the parking lot of the woman that he used to love while he's thinking about all this shit. You know what I mean? It's like,
which is interesting because she going on her vocation right now when Lawrence is out here looking for love and shit. Apparently, he's catching feelings by the fact that no feelings are there for him. Meanwhile, she's out here just trying to catch all the D she can.
And I loved that. The nigga's name was LaMarcus.
Blackest name ever.
That was just
blackest name. I'm sure his last name was Jenkins.
That nigga's name would not have been LaMarcus Jenkins. But this very well could have been a scene like out of slavery. Just using a black man for his physicality and then casting him to the side. That's classic. She was dabbling. Now, of course, I could be reading too deep into it because I'm a philosopher, but she was dabbling in some really, really kind of ancient imagery that has to do with slavery and using black.
I was waiting for her to call him a nigger.
No, but I
was waiting.
Oh, yo,
I thought it was coming. I did think it was coming.
No, but like to your point though, this is a very real subject and a very real topic that's going around right now, because there's a lot of white women specifically that love to date, black men, but it's specifically because I'm in love with this preference. I'm in love with this, what he represents as opposed to who he is as a person. It's like, I want the black dick, I want the black baby, but I don't want the black problems. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's real. That's real. And of course, they would never consider bringing him home to see their parents, but they still get that black experience. They exoticize him.
Yeah. Now, on the Issa front, she and Felix weren't exactly love at first sight. Have any of y'all had any similar encounters with online dating?
No, I haven't.
I have. Now
let's hear Panama.
Come on, Panama.
Let me tell you something. I remember. So this is the AOL Instant Messenger days, right? We used to go in chat rooms and just randomly meet people. So I remember back in Atlanta, I used to meet chicks in chat rooms because why not?
Yeah.
I remember I met one chick who I was at Morehouse. She went to Clark, and I swear to God, I met this chick. We have like a strip that runs through the campus. We called it the strip, but it was like on Clark Atlanta's campus. But we'd all sit there on like Fridays and stuff like that. Anyway, I met her out there one day. I swear to God, the chick walked up to me and smelled my neck and was like, "It smells like I thought it should smell."
Wow.
You smell like a beige nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I just walked off. I didn't know what to do from there. I didn't know if I was gonna die. I didn't know if I should see where that was gonna go. But I was like, you know what? It's too much adventure for me. Like maybe I'm not as adventurous as I think I am because I gotta let this one ride.
That's
I mean,
funny.
it's. Now, I've never gone on a date where I met up with somebody and I was like, yo, you don't look nothing like I thought you would. I haven't been there before, nothing like that. But which I thought was interesting. And correct me if I'm wrong, but is Issa Rae all of a sudden kind of a hot chick? I don't remember her being hot a long time ago, but she kind of hot now. I don't know what it is.
She got that glow up.
She does, right? And the dude Felix is kind of not.
Yeah.
So for him to be the one who's like, yeah, you really not what I thought you were gonna be. I'm like, you kind of winning, dude, because they didn't even give you the lineup. Yeah. The haircut ain't really cut properly, but
that's cool.
Like he wasn't the coolest looking dude on the planet, but I guess that's what's out. I guess that's them LA streets for you.
Well, no, I thought it was interesting too because like when she showed him on the phone, he didn't look like he looked in person, but he was literally doing the exact same thing to her. Like, wait, hold on, is that how your hair usually is? It should look like it does on the profile.
The voice killed me though. Like, do you always sound like that? And somebody, I had a cold a couple months ago. Yeah, I laughed.
Oh, man. I laughed. Alex, you ever had any online dating forays that ended similarly?
There's a story there.
What is it? Grindr? Is that, yeah, on Grindr.
Grindr's for white people. It's called Jacked. But anyway, yes.
That's hilarious.
Talking about coded language.
Yes, there have been some instances where the person just was not exactly what they represented in person. The picture had been from a more favorable time when they were in their more photogenic days. Or, they had added 20, 30 years to their, situation. Yeah, you have all types of shit. It's normal. Sometimes you just either get up and leave respectfully, or sometimes you got to fight.
I was about to say, that's just commonplace, right? Everybody's sending the best case scenario.
Yeah, your best self.
Until you get seen in person. So that's just, you almost just, I feel like you almost have to prepare yourself for that, right? If you're going to go out with somebody you meet online, you got to prepare for at least a 25% reduction in whatever you think you saw in the picture.
You got to grade on a curve and make sure that curve starts low as fuck.
Yeah, if they end up looking better than you thought, then
depending on the app, if they lean to the genital, you're definitely going to expect some disappointment.
Yo, I've had a similar experience. I think it was like 2005, back when MySpace was like the low key like dating spot, because you could look up women by how they look, by their hair type, like all that shit. Yeah, you could look up anybody specifically by like the traits you were looking for. But old girl like had like all these bright ass pictures. She had the Miss MySpace angles by the way she was holding the camera phone. So I was supposed to meet up with her at like the Phoenix State Fair. I'll never forget this. I roll up and she has like the worst acne I've ever seen in my life. Her face looked like Braille. It was all bad. Plus she had like finger waves and she looked like nothing like the picture. But I had to thug it out because I was like, I'm already here. I don't want to be an asshole. So then like throughout the date, I'm like, I'm checked out. I'm wasting money I don't want to spend. And finally, I just had to shake the spot. But yeah, I think everybody's had a situation like that as far as online dating goes.
Braille and finger waves. Damn.
Yes. Do not go together.
The 05 finger waves. The thing, that wasn't even a thing in 05. Well.
Missy had made a return yet, so it wasn't a thing.
For a while, though. Missy tried to keep him there.
Word.
Did you have the Murrays up in her hair, man?
Nigga, she had Dax, Murray's, Blue Magic, all that shit in there. In other news, the itch Issa needed to scratch miraculously returns when Issa bumps into Daniel at Kiss and Grind. How does Daniel being back on the board further complicate Issa's love life?
I mean, Issa don't know what the hell she's doing either, right? So I did enjoy seeing her kind of get played a little bit at first. I was a little disappointed that Daniel was trying to play that role at first. Like, yeah, I'm good. You good? Yeah, we straight. So we're going to keep it moving. And then later on, they see each other at whatever spot they're at. And it's like they had, I guess you can't let go of feelings, right? They're going to be there. You can try your best to play it. But he still cares. She still cares. My guess is he's setting himself up for some more disappointment because she ain't over Lawrence.
Yeah.
She's going through a whole phase. They're going to end up kicking it again, and they're going to have another one of those conversations that goes terrible where he gets played.
Yeah, she did come off as thirsty initially between them two, but I don't know. I kind of like Daniel because I kind of understand where he's coming from. I kind of see what he's up to. I like him. I don't like him for her,
Yeah.
but I do like him, and I think they have really, really good chemistry. They actually have, up until now, they have better chemistry, I think, between the two of them than she has with Lawrence.
Agreed.
And so I'm interested to see how this is going to play out because I wouldn't mind seeing them kind of explore what's possible between the two of them.
Yeah, I'm glad to see his return, of course. As I predicted at the end of our last recap, there needs to be some face sitting in Issa and Daniel's future. So I'm happy that is now a prospect again. I don't think she knows what she's doing. I think she's just kind of floating through a whole phase all willy-nilly. And she's, if she's going to have another awkward sex scene next episode, and so be it. She deserves it.
I do think that it's interesting that the only person that I've ever seen her have real genuine chemistry with and good sex with is Daniel.
It's Daniel. Yeah. But I mean, at the same time, it's like when you're in the middle of your vocation and you just out here trying to fucking flee, and then a nigga that you genuinely like and have a connection with and have some kind of rapport,
fucking the game up
and interest in, magically appears, it fucks the game up. Like you're like, hold on, player. Like I'm out here trying to just live
Party
my
foul.
best whole life, and you just gonna come in here and just fuck that all up.
Yeah, that's how niggas get hurt, though.
Yeah,
That's real though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, so I
everybody
mean,
gets hurt.
Panama, you think he's gonna end up being like Tasha?
I think he is because he still cares, and she does too, but she doesn't know what she's doing, right? She got too many pieces on the board right now that she's trying to run at the same time. Like she's still trying to get Lawrence back, right? Even though she's gone her hoe, like she ain't really a hoe. She just pretending. She playing one on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel is the dude that she always had a thing for, who showed up when her and Lawrence were on the out. She fucked up on him, on Lawrence with Daniel. Like Lawrence and Issa are really the same person. They're two individuals who don't really know what the hell they're doing. They belong in relationships. That's the only place they're space. I mean, the only space that they're like comfortable. The only place where they know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're out here trying to be people they ain't. Like Lawrence is trying to be Chad.
Yeah,
Chad
yeah.
will 100% win that threesome situation and walk away from it like nothing mattered. You know what I'm saying? Like they ain't really who they're trying to be.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be a whole lot of bodies in the wake. You know what I'm saying? Which is interesting because we always think of dudes being the ones that are screwing women over, but it happens the other way. Like Issa's proof that it can go the other way too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where Daniel comes in. But I do want to say this though. I think I agree with Law. Like Daniel and Issa have real chemistry. They actually look like they go together. They look like they could be together. Like her and Lawrence don't really look like they go together to me. Like, they're not a match, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So, but again, I think Daniel's, if he sticks around, if this ends up being a real storyline again, I think he just more set up for failure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I see it going the other way because I think that the power dynamics between the two of them are just different. So I see Issa actually being the one being hurt. I think that she is the one who has more of a thing for Daniel than Daniel has for her. And so I actually see it kind of going the other way. I could see her getting caught up with Daniel because she's really drawn to him and he's really the one who has a little bit more of a power over her.
You think Daniel is over her then? Because remember, Daniel was in the first season kind of like, I always had a thing for you. Why didn't you ever...
I think that he kind of scratched that itch last season, and now it seems like he might be the one who's kind of over her. I really do. We'll see.
Huh? You think so? I didn't get that vibe that he was over her at all.
I did. Yeah. I did this episode. I mean, maybe I'm just reading it wrong, but I did this episode, or maybe he just did a good job of just maybe.
Yeah, I think he
good
was
acting.
trying to play it that way.
Oh,
exactly.
So? Okay.
Because even when he saw her at the little food spot, like he decided to kind of. He initiated the contact. He texted her. That little playful thing, whatever, then, it's kind of like she goes to sit with him, like, and he was happy about that, right? Like, like they were back in that comfortable space that they exist in where whatever it is they got going on, it existed again.
Yeah.
And I think for him, it's what he wants. I get that impression anyway. I could be completely wrong, but I think he wants her and was pissed at how everything ended up because she wasn't honest and forthright with him. I don't know. Like, I think he's the dude that's going to keep losing when it comes to her. Somehow.
Yeah, no. I agree.
I could be wrong.
No, I mean, I agree. I feel like he's trying to, like, play his cards close to the vest, and he's like, all right, you already hurt me once. I still have feelings for you. I still fuck with you. I still like you. We still have this undeniable chemistry. but I got to be a little bit more cautious because you know what I'm saying?
I think she's
time I
going to
saw
end up
you
hurting him
played me.
again.
You know
I think
what I'm
that
saying?
she's probably going to end up fucking him. They both have feelings for one another, like you said. I think they have pretty good chemistry together. But I think that he's going to get in too deep, and Lawrence is going to circle back around, and she's going to go back to Lawrence, and Daniel is going to be fine and sad by himself.
All right, now let's talk about Miss Molly. Now, Issa and Molly run into a Candace-less Dro at Kiss and Grind, who reveals he's in an open marriage after he and Molly kill it on the dance floor and demonstrate some surprising chemistry. So taking her love woes into account, would Molly be playing with fire by infiltrating Candace and Dro's open marriage?
But do it anyway.
Absolutely. I saw the chemistry between them last episode. Whenever she came across, were they in a cupcake spot? Was that where they were? Yeah. When they came across each other, I saw the chemistry there. I said something's going to happen. And so whenever she shows up, I think it was Kim Foster who was on Twitter talking about, whenever you dance with my man, better be room for Jesus. And I know that's right because Molly is backing it up on Dro like she don't know what the hell she doing.
Before he said he was in a marriage.
The next song came to my mind immediately. I thought my man was going to get hard in that situation.
Oh, he probably did.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting going on between the two of them.
I think she needs to live a little. I mean,
Alex,
it is definitely playing with fire. I've never dealt with anyone. Well, I can't even say someone. I think she's playing with fire, but I suggest she needs to do it.
Nigga, don't lie.
This ain't about me. This is about
Nigga,
Molly and
lie.
her predicament. I think.
Wait, are you saying
I think she should live a little. I mean, it is playing with fire.
Alex always trying to get somebody to fuck.
Ooh, you messy. Ooh, you
Alex always should be in a nice
Yeah,
always
I
trying
think
to get
everybody should
somebody to
fuck,
fuck.
and it's good. Be good for her
would
self care. She
disagree
get to
with
release
that.
some of that stress she got going on from the workplace and from the therapy session she's missing. I think it would work.
Not with him though. Like,
Did you call this
she knows his
self-care?
wife.
That's self-call, Lord.
She knows his wife, man. Like, even if they do have an open situation and they're honest with one another, I can't imagine his wife would be cool knowing. Like, I'm guessing it's an open situation, right? Like, you out here in another city, you bang somebody else. Okay, I don't know that person. They're not somebody we're going to interact with on a daily.
Yeah.
You bringing in friends. You bringing in the homies. That just seems wrong.
See, I'm with you, Panama. It's like I understand that the parameters of an open marriage are a little bit more lenient, but at the same time, like if you the homie, you got to tread with caution. You need to make sure that she's okay with this and she gives it the green light. Because don't let them chicken fingers get your ass beat. You know what I'm saying?
To be honest, I'm not even convinced he told the truth.
Oh, that's a good point too.
I mean, we'll see. It'll come out, but I'm not convinced because I could definitely see him. I could definitely see him lying, trying to get something going that night, and then maybe finding out. I mean, but that would be very dangerous on his part.
But niggas go nig.
Yeah, that'd be a whole different TV show.
Niggas go nig.
This nigga gonna die for real.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
But I do think it's interesting that they're exploring this notion of open marriages because I just don't know that many black folks kind of talking about that openly. So I do think that's worth exploring. But if he's lying, boy, whew.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that everybody's fascinated about this show is that it's exploring things that are not typically explored on television through a black lens, whether it's male victimhood or, traditional victimhood as far as like how Lawrence has basically been exploited by this white girl and the Asian girl tonight. He got cheated on by his girlfriend and open marriages and kind of the complexities of relationships and all these other things we just never see from a black lens. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, and I appreciate that the show is sex positive without being exploitive, and that I think is completely due to Issa's work as kind of approaching this from the perspective of kind of an enlightened black woman. I really, really appreciate what she's up to here.
All right, now, how uneasy did Lawrence's scene with the police make you guys?
You know what? It made me uneasy, but because of the show, I figured when I watched the end of Get Out, I thought that whole shit was over. Like in the theater, like I almost threw something at the screen because I thought it was going to go terrible. And this one, I was like, I didn't see it for Lawrence going terrible for some reason. I don't know why. Like I was like, they're not going to throw my man in jail and Insecure. Like that's a storyline they're not ready for. Like this ain't that show.
Yeah.
So now I don't know. It had that potential. I just didn't see it. So I wasn't that nervous for him. For a second, I thought he set himself up because when the dude was like, I should give you a ticket because you're a Hoya. And he was like, what? I was like, oh, wait, my man's license plates are off or something like that. Is he not driving his own car? And then I was like, is he pushing a Jag? I thought this nigga was broke.
Yeah.
So, but then again, it could be an old Jag. I don't know. But I didn't get nervous like I do in other TV shows or whatever when the police get involved.
Yeah, the tone of it wasn't one of, something that was ominous. Yeah, it just didn't give me the feeling that something bad was going to happen. I was more interested in what was it setting up, because it was really early in the episode. So I was wondering what was going to come after. And then, of course, when the white women showed up, it let me know exactly what it was setting up. Just his kind of encounter with whiteness, which I think is interesting that it happened this weekend in light of what happened, elsewhere.
Yeah.
So I think that was interesting, kind of a setup. But I was never afraid for what was going to happen. I didn't think he was going to get shot down and nothing like
Pretty
that.
much the same as
Alex, what you
just
got?
a tone of the show. I don't think it was that dramatic of a scene or an episode to warrant anything like a gunshot or him getting arrested. I think that would have been a whole different thing. I don't think this was about that. It's not Queen Sugar.
It ain't Dear White People. It ain't the TV show Dear White People. You know what I'm saying? Where they might have taken it there.
Yeah.
But man, what if they had though? Good God! Like, what if Issa was like, fuck this shit. I'm going social. I'm going social justice on that ass.
I would love to see it, because if it would fall in that tradition of like the very special episode that they used to have back in the day, like, so the Saved by the Bell episode about the pollution or whatever. So I mean, I could see it happening, but yeah, I just don't see it happening. Not yet.
You know what though? If it would have happened though, it's like, who would he call first? Would he call Issa?
I hope he would have called his mama or somebody who could get him out of jail, because Issa got her own issues with her apartment going up in flames and shit. So she had niggas paying for her food at the after hour spot.
He better call them white folks at the jobs. Who he
call Daniel and tell him to bail him out. So the next episode, what are y'all most looking forward to?
I want to see Tasha again.
I
miss Tasha.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Come through, Tasha.
I would like for.
I like Tasha.
I really want to see what happens with Molly in this open relationship situation. I need to see what's going to happen.
I mean, I'm all for people, encouraging
Alex?
people to fuck, but in to be specific, I want Issa to finally have like a actual quality sexual experience that's not rushed or awkward or like in a car on a table on a couch. Like, I want her to get some proper D, like the ancestors intended.
You want to hear some Teddy Pendergrass with some candles lit, the whole nine. Some oils and shit. All right, where can people find Panama and Lawrence? Where can people find y'all in these internet streets?
You can find me, Panama Jackson, at Panama Jackson on Twitter and Instagram. We are now, you can find us at Very Smart Brothers, which is verysmartbrothers.theroot.com nowadays.
Shout out to The Root.
Catch them checks, nigga.
Nigga, we out here trying to get it. We ride around and getting it, you know what I'm saying?
Word.
Luckily, we have, these fine gentlemen. Everybody here has been a part of this VSB experience. So thankful for all y'all. Y'all help spread the word and help us get to where we're trying to go. So it's appreciated. Thank y'all.
Drinks on you.
Drinks on me.
Lawrence, where can people find you at?
You can find me at law.rights on Twitter and on Instagram.
And for y'all keeping track at home, that is not Jay Ellis. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a separate law we got on this show.
Although people have confused me with him for some reason. They've been asking me like I did it or something.
Up. And Alex, where can people find the Extraordinary Negroes?
You can find the Extraordinary Negroes at theextraordinarynegroes.com. You can also find us on Facebook at The Extraordinary Negroes, on Twitter and Instagram at The Extra Negroes. And you can subscribe to us. Can subscribe to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, TuneIn, or your preferred platform of choice.
And you can also find us at the Podcast Awards, because we just became finalists and we are hopefully winning next month. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to everybody for voting for us for that. So we trying to be the first black folks to bring it home. So yeah.
Wait, what is the Podcast Awards? Can I get a little breakdown on the Podcast? I mean, I'm sure it's exactly what it sounds like, but a little info never hurt nobody.
Well, actually, since you asked, the Podcast Awards can be found at podcastawards.com. And we are nominated under the Society and Culture category. So we were one of 10 of the podcasts that were nominated for that. And they are going to be announcing the winner next month. So historically, there has never been, at least as far as I saw, there's never been a black winner. So we try to be the first ones. So we trying to be the first ones.
Y'all about to be the Barack Obama
out this
podcast.
Bitch. Yeah. So we just found out today. So yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But thank y'all for listening. Hope y'all enjoyed this recap. Shout out to the big homie Panama and, of course, Mr. Law Ware for coming through. And peace out, y'all.